Too many of us go through life distracted, chasing everything and everyone but ourselves. We give our time away, we give our energy away, and we forget the one person who needs it most, you. Listen, if you don't take the time to focus on you, if you don't place value on your own life, then this world will set your price. And I promise you, it'll be a discount. You've got dreams in you, you've got gifts in you, but they don't grow in noise and confusion. They grow when you shut out the distractions, when you stop comparing, when you finally say, this is my time. Focusing doesn't mean being selfish. It means protecting your purpose, because not everybody deserves access to your vision. So today, I'm here to remind you, you are worth more than you've been giving yourself credit for. It's time to stop treating yourself like an afterthought. It's time to focus, to discipline your mind, and to value your life like it's the treasure it really is. Because once you do, everything else, success, respect, peace, will follow you. Distractions are one of the greatest enemies of destiny, and most people don't even realize how much they're losing until years have already slipped away. Every day, countless things compete for your attention. Social media, people's opinions, unnecessary drama, endless scrolling, comparing yourself to others, chasing validation that will never satisfy you. You wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose, maybe even with a plan, but by the time the sun sets, you wonder why you didn't move an inch closer to where you wanted to be. That's because distractions don't announce themselves as enemies. They disguise themselves as harmless, entertaining, or even urgent. But what they are really doing is robbing you, little by little, of the focus you need to step into the future you were created for. Destiny requires focus. You cannot build anything meaningful when your mind is scattered in 1,000 directions. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness, whether in faith, in business, in art, or in leadership, and you will notice one thing. They learned how to shut out the noise. They knew that time is too precious to waste on every notification, every conversation, every opportunity that doesn't align with the bigger picture. You can't be everywhere for everyone, and you can't say yes to everything that knocks on your door. If you try, you'll end up drained, frustrated, and wondering why your life feels like it's going in circles. Focus is the discipline of saying no to what doesn't move you forward, so you can say yes to what matters most. The truth is, distractions don't just cost you minutes or hours, they cost you identity. Every time you give in to the pull of something that doesn't align with your calling, you step a little further away from the person you're meant to become. You may think you're just losing time, but you're also losing clarity, passion, and momentum. And the enemy of your soul knows that. He doesn't need to destroy you outright. He just needs to keep you busy with the wrong things. If he can keep you preoccupied with everything except your purpose, he's already won half the battle. That's why protecting your focus isn't just about productivity. It's about protecting your destiny. Freedom comes when you decide that your attention is too expensive to waste. Think about it. Whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on negativity, you'll find more reasons to complain. If you focus on fear, you'll find more reasons to hide. But if you focus on growth, discipline, and purpose, then opportunities will start to multiply around you. Your focus is a seed, and the soil you planted in will determine the harvest you receive. That's why so many people feel trapped in cycles of frustration. They've been watering weeds instead of planting fruit. They've been giving energy to relationships that drain them instead of connections that inspire them. They've been investing in entertainment more than education. And then they wonder why their lives don't reflect the greatness they desire. It takes courage to break free from distractions because most of them are tied to comfort. Scrolling your phone feels easier than working on your vision. Hanging around people who gossip feels easier than surrounding yourself with mentors who challenge you. Sleeping in feels easier than getting up early to pray, to study, or to build something worthwhile. But the problem with comfort is that it never leads to growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Focus is uncomfortable. Saying no when everyone else is saying yes can feel lonely. but that's the price of destiny. That's the price of freedom. If you really want to live the life you were created for, you have to be willing to sacrifice the temporary pleasure of distraction for the lasting reward of focus. One of the most powerful truths about focus is that it creates clarity. When you stop scattering your attention, you begin to see clearly where you are and where you're going. Suddenly, the noise of comparison doesn't matter because you're locked in on your lane. You stop trying to be everything to everyone and start becoming the person God designed you to be. With focus, your steps become intentional, your decisions become sharper, and your vision becomes unstoppable. Distractions blur the picture, but focus brings it back into sharp detail. And once you see clearly, you can move boldly. Another key to understand is that distractions often masquerade as opportunities. Not every good thing is a God thing. Just because something looks appealing doesn't mean it's aligned with your destiny. Sometimes the greatest test of discipline is not saying no to bad things, but saying no to good things that aren't meant for you. If you try to chase every door that opens, you'll end up exhausted, spread thin, and disconnected from the path you're supposed to walk. Focus means trusting that you don't need every opportunity. You only need the right ones, and the right ones will only reveal themselves when you stop being pulled in every direction and start moving with intention. Think about an eagle. An eagle doesn't waste time chasing every bird in the sky. It flies higher with precision, keeping its eyes locked on the target. That's how it survives. That's how it thrives. You have to be like that eagle. Stop chasing everything and start aiming at the one thing that matters, because when you give your all to your purpose, when you dedicate your energy and attention to building the vision God placed inside you, the distractions lose their grip. They may still be around you, but they can't control you. And that's where freedom begins. Focus creates freedom because it frees you from the chains of wasted time, wasted energy, and wasted potential. It frees you from living a life defined by other people's demands and expectations. It frees you from being tossed around by every new trend, every new opinion, every new temptation that tries to steal your attention. When you focus, you take your power back. You take your future back. And when you walk in that kind of freedom, nothing can stop you from reaching the destiny that was always meant to be yours. If you don't value yourself, the world won't either. And that truth cuts deeper than most people realize. Every relationship you're in, every opportunity you get, every environment you step into will mirror the level of value you place on yourself. People treat you according to the standard you set. If you walk around acting like your worth is negotiable, then don't be surprised when others discount it. If you constantly give your time, your energy, and your heart away without boundaries, you are teaching the world that it's okay to drain you and give nothing back. The way you see yourself is the blueprint that others will follow. And until you decide that your life has weight, your presence has meaning, and your contribution has value, you will keep receiving less than what you deserve. Self-value is not arrogance. It's not about walking around with pride or thinking you're better than everyone else. True value is rooted in knowing who you are and whose you are. It's a recognition that you were created with intention, that your life has purpose, and that you were not placed here to live beneath your potential. When you value yourself, you stop begging for acceptance because you understand that your worth is not up for debate. You don't need the applause of the crowd or the validation of strangers to feel important. You stand in your identity with confidence because you know that even if the world overlooks you, you are already chosen, already approved, already worthy. The problem is that many people look outside for what they should find within. They expect others to validate them, to remind them that they are valuable, to tell them they're good enough. But when your value depends on other people's opinions, you'll always be unstable. People are inconsistent. One day they'll praise you, and the next day they'll criticize you. If your self-worth is built on their approval, your confidence will rise and fall with their moods. That's why it's so important to anchor your value in something greater than people's opinions. Anchor it in truth. Anchor it in your calling. Anchor it in the reality that you were made for more. When you fail to value yourself, you accept less than you should in every area of life. You stay in relationships that drain you because you think you don't deserve better. You accept jobs that underpay you because you doubt your skills. You allow friends to disrespect you because you're afraid of being alone. But when you begin to truly value yourself, your standards change. You stop tolerating environments that don't honor your worth. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You start moving differently, speaking differently, walking differently, because deep down you know that you are not average. You are not disposable, and you are not replaceable. Value comes with boundaries. If you don't draw the line, people will keep crossing it. When you value yourself, you stop saying yes to everything just to keep people happy. You learn the power of no, not because you're difficult, but because you respect your time and your energy too much to waste it. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks. You decide who gets access and who doesn't. And once you set those boundaries, the people who truly respect you will honor them, while the ones who only wanted to take advantage of you will disappear. Both outcomes are a blessing. One of the greatest challenges people face is learning to separate humility from self-neglect. Too many confuse being humble with devaluing themselves. They think they have to downplay their gifts, silence their voice, or accept mistreatment to prove they are kind or spiritual. But real humility is not about lowering your value. It's about knowing your value and choosing to use it to serve others without losing yourself in the process. You can be humble and still demand respect. You can be gentle and still stand firm. You can be giving and still require reciprocity. Humility without self-value turns into self-erasure, and that was never the intention for your life. There's also an economic truth hidden in this principle. In the marketplace, the value of a product is determined by what people are willing to pay for it. If a product is presented cheaply, people will treat it cheaply. But when something is rare, unique, and presented with confidence, people line up for it, no matter the cost. The same applies to your life. If you present yourself like your time is cheap, people will waste it. If you present yourself like your gifts are ordinary, people will ignore them. But when you present yourself with value, with confidence, and with a clear standard, people will treat you differently. Not because they suddenly decided you were valuable, but because you finally decided you were. Self-value also impacts the way you pursue your goals. When you don't see yourself as valuable, you procrastinate. You self-sabotage. You shrink back from opportunities because deep down you don't believe you're worthy of success. But when you value yourself, you pursue excellence. You push harder. You discipline yourself because you believe your future is worth the sacrifice. You invest in yourself, whether through learning, building, or growing, because you understand that the greatest investment you can ever make is in the person you see in the mirror. And when you invest in yourself, you increase your value even more. Another important truth is that value attracts value. When you carry yourself like someone who knows their worth, you start to attract people and opportunities that reflect that. People of integrity, vision, and respect are drawn to those who carry themselves with confidence. On the other hand, when you undervalue yourself, you tend to attract people who exploit, use, or underestimate you. It's not a coincidence, it's alignment. Your energy, your confidence, and your standards create the environment you live in. If you want to change what you attract, you have to change how you value yourself. Ultimately, valuing yourself is not just about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself when no one else is looking. It's the decision to believe that your life matters even when you're overlooked, to carry yourself with dignity even when you're doubted, to keep pursuing your vision even when others can't see it yet. Because at the end of the day, the world will only rise to the level of value you set for yourself. And if you keep treating your worth like it's negotiable, don't be surprised when others do the same. Protect your purpose like it's your greatest treasure, because it truly is. Purpose is the reason you wake up in the morning, the reason you keep going when life gets heavy, the reason your existence carries weight beyond just surviving day to day. Without purpose, you can have all the money, all the attention, all the material success in the world and still feel empty. Purpose is what gives meaning to every step you take and every sacrifice you make. It's not just about what you do, but about why you do it. That's why protecting it is so vital. Because the world will try every possible way to steal it, dilute it, or distract you from it. Your purpose is unique. Nobody else has what you have. Nobody else can bring to the world what you were designed to bring. That's what makes it valuable. And whatever is valuable will always be under attack. Think about how precious gems are found deep in the earth, hidden and protected, because anything that rare cannot be left exposed. Your purpose is the same. If you leave it exposed to everyone's opinions, everyone's criticism, everyone's access, you risk letting people who don't understand your vision shape it or even destroy it. Protecting your purpose means being careful about who you allow to influence your path. Because not everyone who claps for you is rooting for you. And not everyone who advises you has your destiny in mind. Purpose must be guarded from discouragement. Life will test you with setbacks, delays, and disappointments that try to convince you that your vision is pointless. But those moments are not signs that your purpose is worthless. They are proof that your purpose is powerful. If it wasn't important, it wouldn't be under attack. The enemy doesn't fight empty threats. He fights destiny. Every obstacle you face is a reminder that your purpose matters, and the way you protect it is by refusing to let temporary struggles make you abandon permanent assignments. The storm might slow you down, but it cannot cancel what you were created for unless you let it. There will also be times when people close to you won't understand your purpose. They might belittle it, question it, or even discourage you from pursuing it because they can't see what you see. That's why protecting your purpose sometimes means walking alone, because it's better to walk alone with clarity than to walk with a crowd that keeps pulling you in the wrong direction. Purpose requires separation, and separation requires courage. You have to be willing to lose the approval of others in order to keep the approval of your calling. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table of your destiny, and part of protecting your purpose is learning to be okay with that. Purpose also requires discipline. Protecting it doesn't just mean guarding it from outside voices, but also from your own habits. Laziness, inconsistency, fear, and procrastination are some of the biggest thieves of purpose. You can have a vision as big as the sky, but if you don't discipline yourself to work toward it, it will stay a dream instead of becoming reality. Protecting your purpose means waking up early when you'd rather sleep, studying when you'd rather relax, building when you'd rather waste time. It's about recognizing that your future self depends on the choices you make today. Every act of discipline is a brick laid in the foundation of your destiny. Your purpose must also be protected from comparison. The quickest way to weaken your own vision is to measure it against someone else's. Comparison blinds you to the beauty of your own assignment because you're too busy looking at theirs. But purpose isn't a competition, it's a calling. You weren't made to replicate someone else's path, you were made to walk your own. Protecting your purpose means staying focused on your lane, your gifts, your timing, without allowing jealousy or insecurity to steal your joy. When you understand that your journey is tailor-made, you stop trying to fit into molds that were never designed for you. Protecting your purpose also requires nurturing it. A seed cannot grow if it's neglected, and purpose is the same. You have to feed it with knowledge, with faith, with consistent effort. You have to surround it with people who speak life into it, not people who drain it. You have to place it in environments where it can grow, not in places where it will be suffocated. Too often, people bury their own purpose under the weight of busyness, survival, or fear. But the longer you neglect it, the more restless your soul becomes. Because deep down, you know you're living beneath what you were created for. Sometimes protecting your purpose means making sacrifices that others won't understand. While others are partying, you're preparing. While others are wasting time, you're investing it. While others are chasing popularity, you're chasing destiny. It may look like you're missing out, but in reality, you're building something they'll one day wish they had. Purpose requires sacrifice because anything valuable always comes with a cost. But the reward of living aligned with your calling far outweighs the temporary pleasures you give up. You also have to protect your purpose from fear of failure. Too many people abandon their vision the moment they fall short, as if failure means they weren't meant to pursue it. But failure is not the opposite of purpose. It's part of the process. Every mistake teaches you. Every setback shapes you. Every closed door redirects you. Protecting your purpose means refusing to quit just because the journey is harder than you expected. It means holding on to the belief that if the vision is in you, then the strength to achieve it is in you too. Purpose is the legacy you leave behind. Long after you're gone, it will be what people remember, what lives on in the hearts you touched, what continues through the work you've done. That's why you can't afford to let it slip through your hands. Protecting your purpose isn't just about you, it's about the generations connected to your obedience. Someone's breakthrough, someone's healing, someone's inspiration is tied to your courage to guard and fulfill your purpose. And when you understand that, you treat it with the seriousness it deserves. Protect your purpose like it's your greatest treasure, because it is. Treasure isn't left unguarded, it's secured, it's watched over, it's protected with everything possible. Your purpose is worth more than gold, worth more than recognition, worth more than applause, because it is the essence of why you exist. If you lose everything but keep your purpose, you can rebuild. But if you gain everything and lose your purpose, you will always feel empty. That is why you must guard it fiercely, fight for it relentlessly, and carry it carefully through every season of your life.